Well, that's why I told you to turn it down.
I don't need to hear anybody. Who else we can talk to?
Hello.
What is up, everybody?
What number is it?
Is it too soon? Too bad.
For what?
Her headphones, number
Yeah.
one.
Number one. So how much do you want me to turn it down?
It's fine. I don't need to listen to anything through there. I can all hear you guys.
Okay.
She's
It's
not like
just-
us musicians. She's not deaf like us.
Huh? What's going on? I
It's
can't hear
really
shit.
loud.
It isn't loud.
It's not loud.
It's loud. I don't even
One of
need
the first times my son ever saw my band perform, he walks by the front speakers with his fingers in his ears like an absolute jerk. We get it. You have good hearing. Stop it.
It's so loud. That's why I never sit super close. I always sit far away.
You scare yourself, huh?
It's loud.
Yeah. No, it's the hardest thing to teach people when they get up on a mic. You know, no, eat it. Get up on it. Talking to it.
They're like, what? And you're like,
And they're like, oh, I can't.
Oh, you're talking during the show.
They have to like, ruh, ruh. You got to smell it. If you're not smelling it, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, until some drunk ass hits into the mic stand and takes your teeth out.
Yeah.
There's that.
Ow.
That's what that isn't that what that foam thing is for? Isn't that
No,
protection?
That's good try.
It has no protection whatsoever. Still crack you right in the mouth. Mother.
Again, the non-musician.
So what's up, everybody? How we doing?
So good.
Everybody in a good mood today?
I am good. You know, the air smelt cheaper when I walked outside.
The air smelled
You're
cheaper.
starting already, aren't you?
Just saying.
Air smelled cheaper. Everything was wonderful. Nothing's bad anymore. Everything's great.
A little
Yay.
bit.
I don't know how true that is.
It's not true.
It's not true at all. It made me feel better inside.
Big picture stuff. I think we're better off. 100%. Normally, elections historically, it doesn't make any fucking difference to your day to day. So this is the first time that I've ever really felt like
That
there
it
was,
might,
like there was some possibility that it might have a long term
like gas could be affordable again.
I just I find it weird that like
Go
just
to the
like the
grocery
people
store?
who are running for president, when you look at them and you go like, really, these there used to be like some, and I'm probably just because social media didn't exist, but there used to be some prestige. It seemed in like presidential candidates,
Elegance and
even if they
like
didn't like them, they still seemed like maybe upper echelon or higher
Right.
class people or something. And now it's like, who's this bitch? Like seriously, Like, she's running for fucking president.
Well,
Like
and
that's
I
what
think-
they got.
and I think because we see so much more, but like you said,
Yeah.
unless they were debating in your city and you went, or unless you read the article, or unless you had TV and you watched it, when were you really going to hear them other than on the radio? And the radio was edited.
Right. It was very
So,
limited information.
It was very limited information. It wasn't this spew of live all the time.
You get to hear every time this woman sounds like a moron. Just
Uh-huh.
put on blast, and it's like, oh,
And unfortunately, there was a lot of options for that.
Well, and that's just it. You know, Joe, you made a point when we were talking earlier that, you know, a lot of people, I think, chose Trump because look what was in front of us, right?
well, and
I
exactly.
mean,
The good news is also that really because of the lack of coverage. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Trump for his policy and what he actually does. I can't stand listening to his speeches.
Right.
Huh.
He talks in fucking circles and says the same shit over and over again,
Yeah, I'll
whether
do.
it's good stuff to say or not. And it's just like this. He's worse. I mean, I'm sorry. I can't listen to him for an hour. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. Like Tucker won't ask him a question for 20 minutes and he'll just say
going.
nothing for
right.
20 minutes. And it's like, ugh. But what he does when he's working, I'm
Gets
a
his
fan
job
of.
done.
Yeah. It's like, it goes, I don't care what your personal issues are or aren't. Like, do the job well, you know?
But essentially, I'm not sitting there having dinner with you, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
Get your job done.
That's right.
Well, you're not supposed to like the person, right?
I don't
I mean,
like
you're
him.
not, you're not gonna be
Yeah,
friends
no,
with him.
I'm
You're
not gonna be
hanging
friends
out
with you.
him.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You're never going to meet him
No.
in person.
Exactly. It's not like we're gonna hang out and have dinner.
No.
So I don't care what you're like. I want you to do your job. Can you do your job? Cool. That's it. It's the end of it for me.
Yeah. There just wasn't a choice. I mean, we had a choice.
Right.
No, there was.
There was one choice,
unfortunately.
is all that I saw in
Well,
this election.
It kind
There
of
wasn't
makes
even
me,
options. Usually you get
Yeah.
like the independent that never really makes it anywhere. But you're like, oh, he seems good. Too bad he's never gonna make it. But like, you didn't even get that. You had nothing.
Well, because everybody who would have been those independent votes joined his election.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
And that,
true.
I mean, and that I honestly think that was a nail in the coffin for him anyway. When RFK kicked on,
Mhm.
Tulsi Gabbard's campaigning for him, and then Elon
Yeah.
Musk too. And it's like,
And that's it.
is that not enough decent human beings in one room? Even if you hate Donald Trump,
There's other
are you, as a Democratic person or person who was like, you know, dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, were you able to sit there and say, RFK has completely gone off the rails, and there's no way that he's still the man of integrity he's been for the entirety of
Forever.
his life, or a good portion of his life. Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard, all have very, very, really good records.
Yeah.
And not a lot of dirt on them.
Right.
So it's like, how many people like that
Are
coming
on
over
his
here?
side now.
And RFK said, I don't love him as a person. It's not everything. I don't agree on everything with him, but the
No.
things that matter the most, he's into.
Mhm.
And I love that he's going to employ the people this time that are actually going to help him and
Yeah.
hopefully be on his side.
Yeah. Yeah.
More of this crap where he's spending time defending himself to assholes.
Jack, when we kind of get invited to the White House even before that.
He's going to go back on January 6th.
Oh, we can make a wager. I bet I can get the White House before you do.
I just don't. The whole next day, I'm reading these posts from all the other side.
So angry.
Well, they're shocked. Like they can't figure out how this happened.
Oh my God, I can't
Well,
And I
I
was
can
like,
tell you
what
what.
the fuck were you?
Right.
I can tell you part of the View's idea of why it,
Go ahead. I like
it
this.
didn't have this part of was because, I mean, she only had 2 months to campaign, and Trump's been campaigning for
4 years.
They didn't have enough time to get their message out.
for 12 years.
But there wasn't enough time for Kamala to get her message out.
That's
That
what,
was the
you know.
thing. She really needed.
Oh, I'm like,
She had
but
4 years as the vice president to get a message out.
She's
Well,
been here.
They got that message. That message wasn't helpful to getting elected. They needed to get the message they were trying to sell.
Uh,
She's really good at this. She's gonna be great. It's the best choice we got. Go for it.
she's only been here the last 4 years and hasn't done nothing. But this time she will. She's got you this time.
It's just, yeah, it is ridiculous. The asshole with a bag of dog food guy. The guy was the best Biden we ever.
We have a saw.
Did you see his shit on it?
Joe Scarborough.
No, what did he say?
Oh, it's just bullshit. Just like he was a rapist and he's a this and that's what you wanted. I just guess what people are. It's like, you fucking asshole. He's one of the most disingenuous people on TV. There's no way he's that stupid.
It's not just him, Jack.
I know though, but
They're
just
all
like,
that stupid.
And F you if you don't understand.
Right.
well, like there's a black lady.
I got
I don't know what her name is, but the black lady that's a news reporter that talks about how evil Trump is and how it's all going to fall apart because
Joy Reid,
probably.
the bald one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a way, I get that she's pandering, whatever. I don't understand Scarborough's point. Like, now what are you going to do as a reporter?
Yeah. You were caught with your pants down after that comment. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
He won. He's the president. What are you going to do if things start going well? You know?
Well, did you
we don't
notice?
fall into turmoil. Jimmy Kimmel's another one who just blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
How
Yeah.
just he's completely lost his mind. I don't know. I don't even know why, other than just being like, because he got blown at Diddy's party or on Epstein's list or something. It has to be one of those things.
But
It's the only reason.
Did you notice what Scarborough's talk that he was doing? Halfway through it, he started pushing blame back on the Democrats. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Halfway through it, because before it wasn't all about Trump. It was, hey, Democrats, look what just happened.
Yeah.
and ask
Well,
why.
I don't know if he
happened.
said it, but another thing that one of the View girls said yesterday.
I'm so
Was
jealous
that-
you got to watch it.
That, yeah, I mean, that's the only time I've ever watched. It's the first time in my life
I
I've
don't know what
watched
time it was on, and I was working. I was ready to go watch TV.
But the problem is Kamala moved too close or too much into the center and not stayed true to her left.
Right. That was the
Left
When was
wing
she ever in
thing.
the center? Was she in the center on?
Well, she never really has been, but
She doesn't
that's
have a
kinda-
choice. She never.
That's why she
says-
couldn't say anything.
Right.
She never says what she thinks. It's always this. You ask her question, and well, the world is round.
Yeah,
and
well,
the
I have to
sky
go.
is
I have to
blue.
investigate that first before I can talk about it.
That's so
Like
true,
she-
Mike.
All right.
So true. It's their own fault. Joe Biden was the greatest politician of all times, 81 million votes, way better than Obama. Spread the word. You got to see Den's faces when you point that out. It's so true. And I think the thing that, like what I was reading, and I trust me, I take what I read with a grain of salt, but everybody's just harping on this. Oh, how can a convicted felon get in the White House? Well, first of all, he's never been convicted. He's not a rapist. It's like, get your fucking facts straight before you start spewing shit. They put Joe Biden in front of us. We saw how
Him sniff and
cognitively
feel
weak
up
he
babies.
was, right? We saw our performance on the world stage for the last couple of years. It's in front of us. There's no denying it. It wasn't an edited clip, but what we watched the full speeches.
What's crazy how hard they tried
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
to make like, no, he's good. And like even obviously even people who don't pay that much attention kind of went, I don't think he's good.
Well,
And then, who's this bitch? What are we doing?
The thing that cracks me up is how many times did they put Trump through a cognitive test? 4 times
Something
in
like
his
that.
in his
Yeah.
4 years? Make him go through a cognitive test. Why the hell wasn't this man ever done once? Because you knew he wouldn't have
couldn't pass it,
passed?
Of course.
I think he's had them.
Oh, I'm sure he has,
can't
which
tell
is why
anybody about
he's.
this. He got a 4.
You're
You got
going to
4.
lose that report on you.
Yeah, that's not reported. That's
Perfect
something we
score is
did.
500. He got 4.
Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely unbelievable.
So bad. And where has he been? I haven't seen him at all. Is he in a wheelchair somewhere?
No, he
Has
came
he
out
been-
and did a speech after.
Yeah,
they
actually,
pushed
that was
him out.
probably the best speech I've ever heard him give.
I didn't see it.
I
Did
had
they
to
drug
watch
him
it
up real
today.
good?
I mean, it was pretty short, so it wasn't,
Okay.
it was easy
If it
for
was
him to
actually
deliver.
him. If it was
And on the video I watched, they actually played it twice
back
to make
it was
the
a 1 minute.
video
It was a
longer.
1 minute clip, and they played it. They looped it, so it went twice. Was it halfway through? You're going like, is he starting over?
You're like, didn't he just say
Did
it?
he forget that he already said that? That's what I was
They
thinking.
couldn't string together a 2 minute clip of this guy. That sounded normal. So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
But I mean, it was good actually. I mean,
But where's he
it
been
was
since?
nice.
Where's he been since she took over?
He's been
Nowhere.
dead
You
for
haven't
months.
seen him anywhere. So I'm like, is he even really around?
No,
or is
I don't-
he
I bet
in?
he's I bet
Probably
he's been dead for
AI.
months.
Probably.
We're looking at him in that video that he did today or yesterday, whenever it was. I was looking at it, and you look at the older videos and you go like, these are different people. The looks are so wildly
Mhm.
like
The expressions,
Yeah.
the,
The facial
movements.
structure, there's just
there's
stuff
the
about it.
wide-eyed Joe Biden,
Yeah,
and then there's
yeah.
the squinty-eyed Joe Biden, and
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I think is more true to him because he's always kind of had that skeevy look.
Looks like the kid from Deliverance. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's kind of crazy how many different styles he has. Just seeing old videos, and
there's the tall one, and
there's a tall
Well,
one.
short one.
And going to vote.
Well, don't forget he was bald.
why was Jill by
Yeah.
herself
That's true.
when he was younger, he was
Where was
bald.
Joe?
That's true.
He was
yeah.
going very bald.
when they
He
went
has
to
a
go
full
vote? Where
fucking
was
head of
Joe?
hair. And has for his
You went and hid.
You didn't see him go
He
vote
was-
though. You
He
saw
was
Jill
eating ice
vote.
cream
Yeah, and she was wearing red.
Red.
Wasn't that interesting?
That was interesting too. But you didn't see Joe vote.
because she dropped them off at Dairy Queen.
Was he an early voter?
He was working his shift at McDonald's.
Just bring me home an ice cream cone, honey.
licking the French fries.
I don't know.
So
But,
I'm just really curious. What I mean, I think his first couple months in office is going to be just fucking nuts.
It's going to be cleaning house,
I think so.
Hope so.
and he needs to do it. I mean,
We have to.
That's one of the biggest reasons I voted that way.
Yeah.
I would
we
like
because-
have to get back on
Because
track.
our government
I
is
don't know what
just
we're
so
doing.
corrupt. I mean, you take someone like AOC, who's only been in office 4 years now.
Yeah.
And she was a bartender.
I'm a
So she
hooker.
came into office.
Have you looked at her
probably-
net worth?
That's what I'm saying. She came in not that rich, but
Right.
She didn't
but
know.
I mean, last I heard she
didn't
was
have a
20
place to
million.
live.
She was worth 20 million.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
taxes and tips and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's tips.
So yeah, they're just and it's not just Democrats.
It's everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's in there for
That's
their
well,
own
that
self.
the whole thing is built that way. It wasn't intended to be built that way. It was supposed to be just volunteer. They were just
Mhm.
appointments essentially. That's why you had an election, because it was an appointment. It wasn't a job. You don't elect people for jobs.
No.
It was supposed to be appointed.
This was your volunteer to help out.
And I think that at some point it became such a task that it turned into a career. And then
Well, then it became
all the corruption
they got
happens to
rid of
make it a
the-
career.
got rid of the term limits. and
Because it
that-
doesn't need to be a full-time fucking job.
No.
Being a legislator and all that stuff, they could do that once a week. Get together. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The idea that it's a 7-day or even a 5-day a week
It's
job
not.
is insane.
It's not even a 2-day a week.
especially
job.
with today's technology.
Yeah.
Right, you
They
don't
don't have to
have to be-
read a whole thing. They could plug in the
No,
old text
exactly.
Or do they have
Tell me
to
what's
use
the
a
top.
speech and
They
Yeah.
can all live wherever the fuck they live.
Yeah.
yeah.
Go every once in a while. It doesn't require the
No, they can
spend more
Zoom
time
meeting it.
campaigning than they do doing any sort of legislating or whatever, and then having all their fucking hearings and arguments and stupid shit where they just talk like morons for hours on end. It's so crazy. But I'm hoping. I loved Vivek's plan of, what was it, 80% or 50% or whatever it was, but just straight across the board, gone.
Mhm.
You just cut half of it, at
Yeah.
least half of it, all of it. Doesn't matter what it is.
There's
just arbitrarily.
so much in there that
right down
we
the
don't
middle.
need.
Department of
Done.
Education, Department of this, to just half.
Yeah.
50% is fucking gone.
Done.
Just
Figure
start
it
there.
out.
Yeah, it'll survive.
Yeah.
It's not going to fucking collapse because we don't have a whole bunch of
$8
middle
billion.
managers that we
Yeah,
lost.
it'll figure
What are we
out.
going to do with all the nitpickers?
Well, and this was the thing that really just boggled my mind. So North Carolina, our country, we haven't had any disasters in the US in a while, right? Where we've had to send aid or anything like that, right? Like nothing that I can think of.
Not like
It's
that.
been a while, yeah.
no,
It's
I
been a
mean,
while, right? Like
Probably back when, I mean,
couple
Katrina.
years.
Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina was
Yeah.
the last one. I don't know of any other. I'm sure there was little stuff like
Yeah.
fires and that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah,
Nothing
Maui,
huge,
too, the
Yeah.
Maui
Yeah.
fire.
but nothing huge that's taken out cities and half a state
Not to
until-
that. Not to that extent.
until North
Yeah.
Carolina, and we don't have any money or help to help them.
What?
What?
Kamala
Dude,
gave
we
them
don't-
$750 each. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
$750 is great when
That's
you
more than
can't
Honolulu got.
when you
Yeah,
can't-
they got $50 left.
when
on
you
that.
can't get them there.
Yeah.
Like we weren't giving them food, we weren't giving them anything. So we have local people, we have churches, we have our own American citizens that are out there building houses, building like sheds for these people, giving them beds, giving them a kitchen setup because nobody's done anything.
A few of the guys from Century
I
went-
just
drove to North Carolina.
Yeah.
Where they took
Yeah.
the Bobcats and the
Yeah.
trucks out there to go help them clear debris and stuff. And I'm like, why?
it's just
In the hell are we have to come up from Arizona
to
with
there.
equipment
Right.
to help out?
Absolutely.
We should have.
It boggles
Army Corps of Engineers should
my
be there.
mind.
You know,
Didn't,
it's
didn't
not-
Trump help out? Didn't
Yeah,
Trump
I was
provide
there. He
housing
did a
or
bunch of
something?
stuff.
Yeah, he just got home yesterday or the day before.
He
Trump's been on
He was
scene to
gone for about a
everything.
month.
Trump
So-
actually sent in helicopters like the first couple days to the hospitals with medicine and IV bags because the water was still so high nobody could get in there. So he was one of the few who actually like loaded stuff up and choppered it in. So
What? I don't understand.
I think he's
Oh.
he or she's talking about our beards.
Oh.
yeah, mine's doing great, isn't it?
Mandy used it before.
Where's the beard one? Oh.
Yeah, put it back up. Sweet mother of God, it's like the perfect evolution of the beard growth.
Literally.
Beard
You and Joey are kind of similar. You
This
and
is-
Joey are close.
I guess it's true.
Yeah.
And I have. I am
And you've
full
just given
fucking
up.
Given up. Just don't even give a shit. You're lucky I put clothes on.
Hey, it's a clean shirt. I know his wife sends him home with that.
That's true.
It's the only control she has with you. Here, put this shirt on.
The lady not included. She ain't my mother-in-law.
What?
Oh, that's funny.
I didn't get it.
I'm guessing the mother-in-law has some facial
Some
hair.
facial.
Yeah.
I have like a 1. Apparently, you turn 40 and you get a chin hair.
Did I really need to explain that?
You did. I didn't understand it. Sorry.
We need to get a close up.
Close
How
up.
can I do
No,
that?
I
on
pulled
this
it
camera?
a couple days ago. You can't see it. It'll be back. Give it a week or
He's got
two.
that one hair. just
Yeah,
hanging out.
I had the
It's
one that
literally
did
like
it in
just
my arm.
that one, and I can feel it. And I noticed it when I brushed my teeth because I turned just right, and I was like, "Mother."
What the hell?
I know. I'm like, what the hell? And it's like not on the chin, it's like under. There's just one little pube hair on my
Not
chin.
by the hair
So-
of my chinny chin.
Sorry.
Are not that it matters
Apparently
at this
happens.
point, but is anybody else like just upset that Arizona still hasn't finished tallying the votes?
It's embarrassing. I don't entirely. I mean, I kind of understand it. I kind of don't. Ultimately, I don't care.
It's crazy though.
But here's what
It's-
you do care.
it's
about.
Texas,
stupid. It's
Texas
fucking
got theirs in with what 3 times the amount of people we have, and we can't get our lives
No,
together.
more than 3 times. But
Oh, thank you.
What in the hell is what's holding it up? Is what I don't remember what the excuse was last time, but like, what's the excuse going to be?
it's
What's
because they can. Because
Exactly, because
the-
nobody's stopping them.
The law or the whatever it is they have.
Mandate.
Yeah,
They're
is
allowed to
they
slow
have
walk
till
it.
the 11th
right? They're allowed to slow walk it in.
to turn in their result.
And it's
Why?
such a
Why do we
po-
have until the 11th?
I
Does
don't know.
everybody have until the
to
11th?
make sure that it's right so that
Then
they don't
why
do
is
the
it
early.
Arizona?
I
It's
don't
because
know.
they don't want the early call because then it fucks things up and people get pissed. And
Why? We found out last. Are we on YouTube?
Okay, yes, we are. How about at this point when the
I won't
when
say
the
anything.
results come in, they say, "Yeah, Trump's the president." How about we just go? All right, fuck it, let's just put our shit out there, because it's like
I know at this point it doesn't make any difference
No.
anyway. So just say it.
It doesn't, but it could potentially, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
it could though.
No.
If it was the other way and
Mhm.
and our votes counted, and Arizona was behind the 8 ball on it,
But in the reality that we're living in, it doesn't matter.
I get that, but
Yes,
if
it
was
could in a
closer
different
race.
scenario.
Thank
could
you. We are
matter.
very happy.
But then in a closer scenario, we want them to take that extra time to make sure they were counted properly. So we'd be like, well, it's okay. We got to the 11th. Just make sure you count them all and get those bins in the trash that we need to get in the trash.
Well,
Exactly.
welcome to the show, Polar Nights. Thanks for jumping on.
Did one other Meekum Gate.
That's a Norwegian.
Norwegian.
A
It's in the
Norwegian.
Norwegian area. Oh,
Yeah, but even if it gives them more time to cheat, again,
But
it
everything's already
doesn't
done.
matter.
We're already
That's the
past
thing.
that
It's
point
like
to where their
we're-
cheating isn't going to help.
When I look today, we're still at 68%.
Exactly the same we've been. It's
Yeah.
so stupid.
I think we went to 69.
Did we?
last
I'm
I checked, yeah.
69, dude.
Yeah.
69.
Another 31 to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
we're at 76.
Holy
Wow.
shit,
Right
they're
now.
making progress.
Yeah, we're at 76.
Now that's cooking with
Good
God.
job.
even
y'all.
Nevada is at 91.
And they
And they're
haven't
all
called it.
drunk and on drugs.
Yeah.
They're all,
they haven't
they're
called
all,
it.
They have casinos to
they're
play
all
at,
hooked up
and
on
they're getting it
roofies
done.
and
So-
GoPros.
So they're in cahoots with each other, I think.
Yeah, well, I get
Probably.
Nevada. You know, there's probably still some schmucks voting on the election or betting on the election, even though it's
Oh,
called.
that's true.
you know.
They're like, I got this.
Oh, come on, I was going to win. I know it.
Come on.
There was an-
That's
there
true.
was-
I didn't think about
There's
that.
an ad for a new. There's a new app or new platform or whatever that you can gamble. That you can gamble.
I'm sure you can. I
You
did.
can gamble on everything now.
I don't doubt
apparently.
it.
No, but like, legally,
Yeah.
which is weird because you can gamble on anything. Oh, it's just
Well, there's all those sporting apps and everything that you can vote on. Is your pinky blue?
nope, just my nail. Matches my shirt
It does match your shirt. I was very impressed there.
because
for
I'm
a minute.
pimping. Straight up
Pimpin' me
fucking pimping.
pimpin'.
See, now
Been
with
pimpin'.
with the new, I mean, going up to 76% now, Ruben Gallego is at 49.8.
Ruben
He was
guy.
at-
Ego.
He was at 52
Ah.
Yeah.
at one point. So
Is what's her
That's
what's her
interesting.
name still going to be
I'm
in? We have no
gonna
other
see.
choice.
They don't
Did
show-
anybody
She made it, didn't
bet
she?
on the election that we know? Is there anybody that can
I
tell us?
didn't.
Oh, she's
What
at
were the odds?
48.1.
Who?
Carrie Lake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean that's
That's not good
closed,
because I want her to win because she's on our side, but I
but-
really
but
don't.
that
want
gap's really close.
She's going to take
a
away your
lot.
abortion rights. You won't be able to have a baby.
Now
dead.
that
her. My abortion rights are already
You're right.
given to
Not- not
everybody.
abortion.
You're rushing ahead, Jack.
Your medical whatever.
Don't
it
get
is.
me started on that. I'm already riled up.
Why?
Because that's part of the conversation tonight.
I know. What are you all grumpy about? You ain't gonna kill no babies. Just chill.
I wasn't killing no babies personally.
That's my point.
Yeah, so she's only what?
I ain't been like that.
34,000 behind, right? Yeah. I mean, according to that.
Oh, she
a little
could beat
less.
him.
That's one reservation.
Fuck yeah. Do you know we have a
there's
huge
still another 24% to come in. I mean,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
possible.
they don't want another Meekum Gate, which they actually caused if they have to reverse because they called it for Ruben Gallego
Mm,
earlier.
I hope we do.
Yeah.
I hope we do. Nice. Good job.
Nice.
Sweet.
Good choice.
No,
They don't. They never called any of the races here. So they haven't
Joey
called
said they
them.
Well, they
did.
did. They
Did they?
did call. Yeah.
Joey said,
They
"What's
said-
his name?" One.
And they put it on that side, but maybe they pulled it back. They better have pulled it back.
Right. Because that's
I
super
don't
close.
want her to win, but I do want her to win.
If anything, that should be too close to call, right?
It should
That'd be way
with
too
that
close.
and with-
But that's the problem with all the speculative stuff. It's like, first off, I still can understand. Like, where's the 25%? Is somebody walking it to the?
Where is it? Is
You know
it
what I mean?
missing?
Like, what in the fuck is taking so long? I've never understood this. It's
We
just
still
like,
use the Pony Express.
Well,
here.
have you, here's the thing.
It's riding up
If
from
you ever-
Yuma. It's not here yet.
It's the same system. Like if you ever put a check in the bank,
Yeah.
that's a decent amount.
And
Like
it
it
takes
takes
them
them fucking
3
weeks to go
months.
to put it in
Yeah.
your account.
Right, right.
Cash App can clean you out in 15 seconds.
The funniest,
Or put it right
the
back in.
funniest thing
But
is,
we
the
gotta check
funniest
those
thing
funds.
is they're like, oh, you put the check in, like, here's my Chase check I'm giving you,
Yeah, don't get me
but
started
it's
on
from Chase. You're
Yeah.
like, that's you guys. It's not like it's from a dude in Nevada and you don't know this
Right.
bank. Like, this is you
Yeah.
This is you putting
You
your
can
money
back
from
into you.
you to you.
You should be able to look it up, but it doesn't work.
We're gonna hold your check for 7 days.
Yeah.
Make
that.
sure it
And it's such
clears.
bullshit because it's like, you know how we verify this is you guys use that little system you have that's all connected to each
That's
other.
yours.
We can verify the funds of that check like fucking now.
Immediately,
seconds,
right?
yeah.
But I also understand that if you do that, then you have to give it to me right now, as opposed to you guys, hang on to it for 2 weeks and play with it.
Yeah.
and do whatever
Make
you
some more
want with
money
it.
with it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Then you can get some interest out of it while you're in between there.
Again, it's just one of those things that there's no good excuse for it taking so long. 25% of the votes that are being bicycled in by Lance Armstrong and his buddies. Instead of, hey,
recounted.
why don't you give us a fucking call? Tell us what you got.
Right.
What do you,
Like, are these
You
buildings where there's no
scanned it in.
communication? They're isolated. They could
Well,
call them or something.
that?
Email, text. Hey, here's what we're getting for account. We can double check that later, but this is what we
This
got.
is what we
Right,
got the
right.
first time, or the first two times,
We're
or the
just gonna
first
keep it a
5
fucking
times.
secret. As well as 25% still haven't reported. Why?
Where are they?
Lost at sea.
Where are they?
What? I fucking.
They are lost at sea. There
That's
is no sea, but they're lost at sea.
Yeah, it's crazy.
25% is
yeah.
coming from the Superstition Mountains, Dad
The
says.
problem is they're stuck in the Superstition Mountain. We're
Yeah.
looking for gold.
Yeah, I've lost all my abortion rights forever.
It's kind of true.
Yes,
I don't know what to
indeed.
do about it.
Yeah, so let's
So
do we want
25%.
to get into that
Why not?
yet?
Who cares? What difference does it make? Let's do it.
The propositions?
We have candy.
You got candy.
Yeah,
Would you
no,
eat- would
I
you eat it
gone.
all?
I ate all my
You
candy.
had candy.
I ate all my candy.
Boof.
I have no emotional support candy.
I don't know what all the propositions were.
Well,
Well,
I know. And I got my list. And I
Good.
had my list and I took my notes in and I was ready.
Well, I'm sure I have lots of opinions. But
where's,
Yes.
where's your notes now?
they're all in her
I have a
head.
picture of them.
You don't have your book?
Jumbling around.
No, I have my book.
Oh.
Do you want me to go get my book?
I don't want to go through them in
The big
detail,
book.
but the ones that matter.
Just
The
give
ones
us the
that-
broad
well, the ones
strokes.
that
Want to know
matter-
about guys marrying guys, and babies get killed by mamas, and all that kind of cool shit.
So, what?
Nothing. You heard me.
I really didn't.
Get chicks with dicks, all the good stuff. Let's do it.
There's no propositions that help.
We
you
didn't
with
have
that.
any of that.
No, no,
The
that.
chicks with dicks.
Well,
No.
the babies, yeah.
Yeah, with the babies.
There's nothing that helps you with chicks with dicks.
All right.
I'm
Well, we'll
sorry.
see.
So, Proposition 139
I don't know. Tell us what it is.
is
Freeways.
they named it the
Freeways.
right to an abortion.
That was the name of it.
That is the name of the proposition.
Fucking sweet.
Unfortunately, Arizona has already had an abortion proposition.
Yeah.
They've already
The
had
whole
it there.
state had an
You
abortion.
can have an abortion already. It's not new. Joey can't, but
You're talking about
everybody
like in
else
the
can.
1800s,
We
right?
sent it to Mexico.
No, when
Yeah.
it got taken out of federal and got put back on the states,
Right. Didn't
our
the old one kick
state
in?
law was already you can have an abortion up to 15 weeks.
You can?
Yep, it's been there
I
forever.
didn't know that. What happened to that? I thought they were all promoting that 1800 one that was said you couldn't have abortions here.
That was
Well,
way before it went to federal and then it came back.
That wasn't that before it came back to states? That's
before
what
it
it
came
was.
back.
So
then it came
before
back to
before
states,
they
and then we
kicked it
put
back to the states, it was you couldn't have an abortion here. And
You
then
couldn't have an abortion.
when it kicked
Roe
back
versus
to the
Wade came in.
states,
Then that went to federal.
So when Roe versus Wade got repealed,
revoked,
I
it
thought
went
that old one
back
came
to the
back.
state. No, it was up to
No,
15 weeks.
it went to 15 weeks.
they made a law after Roe versus Wade got taken
That's
back.
what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
was
I thought
the
that was in
like.
contention with the old one that said you couldn't have one.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope, there was
No,
not.
so it was as
an
of
abortion
2024, abortion was legal up to 15 weeks of pregnancy in Arizona.
Okey-doke.
And then they changed it to what they consider fetal. Let me find the exact wording. that they
Viability.
use.
And a baby doesn't have a
Fetal
brain.
viability. So, fetal viability is defined by the measuring point of a pregnancy in which there is a significant chance of the survival of the fetus outside of the uterus. Okay, so this means that you can have an abortion now because, of course, it passed because we're all fucking dumb and we don't actually read or listen or have a brain in Arizona.
Right.
So now up into birth.
Yep.
So you remember when your kids are born,
So
your wife is giving, no, we're going to get real graphic here for a
I know.
minute, y'all.
I know.
Your wife is giving birth.
Yep.
She is dilated.
Yes.
The head is visible,
Crowning, they call it. I believe.
crowning. You can see it.
And
The
faces of death monkey
eyes,
hammers?
nope, the eyes are not out yet. So you are up to Papa Joey's eyebrows, but no eyes. You can decide to kill that baby.
Yeah, so I said faces of death monkey hammers.
Nope. What they actually do is they stick a needle
ice pick,
into the spinal cord, and then they put in scissors and they cut it up in pieces and pull it out.
So I thought they liquefied it with something, or they liquefied
They
it.
can't
artificially.
liquefy it; it's too big now.
Oh, that's true. That's pretty gross. So
Up into
here's my
40 weeks. 40 weeks. You have a baby. You have a
Look,
toddler
100%.
in your vagina.
what I wonder, wonder who wrote the Book of Love, but also what I find interesting about this is that I hear you at the same time. I hear also the opposite side of the you're fucking with our bodies, where it's like
But it's not.
chill your brains, chill your brains. there is no absolute. I'm not a big fan
What do
of
you mean?
absolutes. I'm saying there is a case that exists somewhere
I'm sure there is.
where that law helps somebody. I don't know if there's, rowing bands of
Helped in-
cheerleaders that are
helped in
pregnant
what
that are
way,
carrying full
though?
term and then having their
Like-
babies killed.
Right.
I don't know if there is. I don't know if there isn't. There might be. What
I'm
there
really-
definitely is people who don't go to the doctor a bunch during their pregnancy. And so it gets so late in their pregnancy. And then they find out, oh shit, it's going to be retarded or it doesn't have a brain or it's going to be
That
missing
is
half its skull.
not an
Listen to me.
abortion. That is not an abortion.
But
That is a medical procedure.
So is it or is it not affected by these laws?
That is not affected by those laws. A medical procedure.
I
So
assure
if
you
mom
that people
is,
think it's affected
I'm
by these
sure
laws,
it
and
is
it's why
because
people
they're
voted
dumb
this
enough
way.
to think so.
They're not dumb enough. They're uninformed or they don't have the information. I didn't have the fucking information. I didn't know that it wasn't an abortion when
It
you
is
kill
different.
a baby for a
So
different
that
reason.
was one of the big things. So everybody, of course, talks about like tubal pregnancies and all this other stuff. And well,
Big
what if the
topic
mom
shit
is
and all
sick?
that
And
other
what if
stuff,
the
yeah.
baby's sick? That's not an abortion. That's
Right.
a medical procedure.
And that's
You
marketing.
are going to die if we do not remove this from you. Is not an abortion.
Right.
It still feels like it. You're still dealing with all that emotionalness because I can pretty much guarantee you that that mom who has a tubal pregnancy wanted that baby.
So that in those cases, if it is indeed a propaganda machine that allowed them
Yep.
to sell this
Push this.
abortion law,
Yep.
those kids were going to die anyway.
Mhm.
So the only people who
Those
made
kids
out here,
and potentially those moms,
So
if
the-
we didn't.
well, but we allowed it to be legal.
Yep.
So they're not affected by it anyway.
Nope.
So the only people who are affected by this are people who use
As birth
abortion
control.
as birth control.
Yep.
That's kind of
Shitty.
unconscionable for them.
So we have somebody that completely disagrees
Sorry.
with you.
Yay.
So Naomi says you're grossly incorrect in your opinion. I'm curious, what part
Yes.
are
Tell
you
me.
incorrect?
Which
about?
one, please?
And does it deal with Arizona law or somewhere else?
Right.
yes,
Right.
that's true too.
I just think the fact that we've hit this point in society where there's such contention over the idea of killing a life.
Why are we so hung up on
It's
it?
just-
Like, why
it-
is
you
that
know,
the main?
I mean, we've had our differences when it comes to abortion,
Yes.
and I believe there is a time and a place for it. I believe, rape is one of those things. We talked
Mhm.
about incest being one of those things.
Yep.
Something that's out of somebody's control, right? I believe there's a case for it. But if we don't think it's a procedure that's abused in the country, I think we're sadly mistaken,
Yes.
because 50 years ago, was this a big of a conversation? I mean, I know with Roe versus Wade it was, but not to the extent it is today.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, there were always those backroom abortions, even in the 1800s.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
but
But-
the numbers that there are today,
Oh, but not
you
the
think there
numbers there are
is?
today. No way.
Well, there weren't
No.
nearly as many people either.
Yeah, and on your point, for like incest and rape and that, I mean, once she knows she's pregnant, she gets an abortion. I mean, it's under the 15-week period.
Yeah.
They're not
Right.
going to carry it to term and decide, oh,
Yeah.
since I was raped, I don't want this baby now.
No,
Janet,
you
you'd
know
like-
pretty
that.
well,
quickly.
you'd like to think so, but the reality is there's probably a situation where
I'm
someone
sure
got
there,
raped,
but
didn't
there's
know they
always
were
a
pregnant,
probability.
and just drags it out because they can't talk about it because it was a family member, whatever the case may be. There's always going to be these horrific,
But
tragic things.
In that aspect,
curious
is
about.
is giving the kid up for adoption different than having that birth?
Yeah.
How?
Because there's an emotional factor.
There's an emotional
In-
factor
in
with you
delivering
killing it as well.
I agree. I'm aware of that. There is a different set of emotional factors with having a baby, carrying it to term, delivering it, and handing it to another human being to take care of. That's not
Ye-
something everybody can do.
But you're not
I'm just telling you.
seeing the baby even. If you know you're giving that baby up for adoption, they will literally put a curtain around you and you won't ever see that kid.
Great. I'm never gonna
Look at
crap. I'm
great.
never gonna crap a kid out. So I have no idea. I imagine, because when my cat died, I was pretty fucking sad.
Yeah.
So, or when they get run away, that kind of.
Yeah.
So
get
I can
sad.
imagine that something was growing in my body.
Oh, absolutely. You're
and I
gonna
came
feel
out,
that detachment.
There's going to be a maybe
Absolutely.
possibility of some serious emotional effects. It doesn't necessarily mean that I think it's wrong to make somebody have a kid. What boils down to for me is do we think that human life has value?
Right.
And if human life does have value, then you have to kind of stay on that side. And that side is really hard to stay on because number one, it means you don't kill babies and you don't kill people either.
Exactly.
So nobody's fucking right when it comes down to it. Because everybody I know who's
'Cause
all
everybody's
about
one or
keeping
the
babies
other.
alive is all about killing motherfuckers who disagree with them.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with killing people. It doesn't bother me nearly as much as it probably should. So if you want to kill your baby, I don't care. Don't kill
Yeah.
my baby.
Mine's good as long.
Go sick.
Now, what happens if your wife, your girlfriend, your mistress
Uh-huh.
gets knocked up? You know she's knocked up.
Yeah.
And she gets an abortion.
Well, first off, it's a miracle.
I know, but
So
how is that?
It's not really
that thing because I'm sorry.
It is and it isn't. It's not.
I
it's,
think
it's easy for me to defend that
because
I don't. It doesn't really affect me.
Yeah.
So it's
But-
easy for me to say she should have the kid.
But I think, and this is my thing where everybody gets mad at me.
there's
I
other
think the
things.
man has a choice in it. I'm sorry. The rape or incest thing doesn't count because that doesn't count.
What kind of choice in
But-
that?
Well, at
You
the
have a
point, the woman
boyfriend, you
didn't
have a
choice either.
husband. Everybody says, "Oh no, it's my body, my choice." It is, but it's not because it's not yours anymore.
Yeah. I don't
now
think
it's a
that-
partnership. You don't get to just kill somebody off because of that.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't, because what if me and Keith got pregnant right now and I said I don't want to be a mom, I don't want to take care of a kid, but he says he does.
Yeah, here's where I
so
think
why
that
should I
choice
not
should be
carry
different.
it?
Is if, let's say, it's a couple teenagers, you know,
Yeah.
Teenagers,
And-
guess what? You're not 20. You're not
Right.
18. You don't
So-
get that choice.
right?
Parents do.
Let Joey finish his statement.
No, that's it. I mean,
Oh,
so the
is that what you guys
boyfriend,
said?
the
No.
young boyfriend,
Yeah.
shouldn't have a choice in that.
No, because
I mean,
you're-
his choice should have been to keep.
but if you're
dick
both
in his
but
pants,
if you're both 19,
but that's not going to happen either.
if you're yes,
That's not gonna happen.
no, that goes to the parents. But if you're both 19,
Yeah, no, that's different.
what I mean,
Is it though?
Well, at
it
that
should
point,
be.
you become consenting
Consenting
yeah,
adults.
I mean, it
not-
should be. You should
You
Not
can't be a
consenting
consenting teenager.
You can be. You actually
Yeah.
can be.
You could
You
be.
can consent,
I mean,
but
you
doesn't
know?
make it doesn't give you any legal
Yeah.
rights to it. I think honestly, this is one of those things that
we're never
I-
going to agree on. We're never going to.
well, and it's
Be
where
right,
it's where
even.
the legislation of morality becomes a real problem because you really can't legislate morality, and it is a question of morality. And
It is.
I personally believe it's just like if you like to take it in the ass, that's up to you. I don't fucking
Your
need
monkey,
to know.
your circus, not
Right,
mine.
yeah.
I don't need to know.
No.
And neither does anybody else. Whatever you do in the bedroom in the privacy of your life is cool. And
Yep.
when it comes to this kind of
Until
stuff,
you bring
it
it,
doesn't
into
need
the
to be
ER
public
and we have to
subjects.
deal with it.
I don't want to know what you do. I don't
Yeah.
want to know that you beat your kids. I don't want to know that you're a shitty parent. I don't need to know any of that stuff.
No.
Sometimes as a community, we decide we need to step in because they're a shitty parent and this and that. I don't know that that's always right either. If we have liberty, if we have sovereignty, leave people the fuck alone, let them make their mistakes.
When
When they
it comes-
step out of their door and they
Then
start hurting my
yes.
friends and whatever, now we get to decide whether we can hurt you.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the way I feel about liberty and all that
Yeah.
stuff and agency. It's like you handle your shit and I'll handle my shit. And when it crosses over, we'll talk about it.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, and it needs to stay away from the government
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
It
It
should
needs to
always
stay
be-
local.
'Cause
It
you-
Yeah, it
needs
needs
to
to
stay
stay
local.
You can't regulate moral decisions.
Right.
You
No.
can punish people for making horrible ones that affect society, but
Yep.
you cannot regulate
No.
them. People are going to have opinions about them because we all feel differently. We're all raised
Well,
differently,
And even
different worlds. And just from a belief standpoint, if you don't believe in certain things, you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because human life doesn't have any value.
well, and even when you look at why it should stay with state, is you look at me and you were both raised here in Arizona. Keith was raised in New York. He's going to have different stuff than we're going to have because it's a whole different area.
Yeah.
You were raised
Supply and demand.
Utah?
Yeah.
in Utah, still totally different thing.
Mhm.
Everybody's going to have their different opinions based on where they were raised because of what they were experienced, what they were around. So you can't make it one big
Yeah. There's no,
decision because it's so
it's
different.
it's too big of an issue
It's
to
so
legislate.
different.
Well, and to Jack's point, you can't legislate morality when
No.
when we're talking
But even morality between
killing
areas are gonna be
babies.
different.
When we're talking about killing babies versus, like Jack said, if somebody broke into our house in the middle of the night and was going to kill us and
You
we
made
killed
that
them,
choice when you came
but
in.
is that any more justifiable?
If it's, if it's human life and human life is what matters,
if that's the concept,
Yeah.
right?
then it's
but
never
it's
okay.
not. It's
All you can do is you can say that the person who broke into your house in their agency and their choices, they chose to do that. So
they
they're
made
taking
a
a risk.
choice,
Right. So
But that
In the other
baby
situation-
didn't make a choice. So
we
that's
don't
that,
know that.
what
We don't know that.
that he didn't make a choice to die.
Did he make a choice to live?
He didn't make a choice to do anything. He can't make a choice yet. He can't even piss.
Right. Is there a soul involved?
Yes,
Right. You think that, some people don't.
which is fine.
If you think that there's a soul involved, you have to be willing to think that you don't fucking know anything about what the soul does outside of this body. So
No,
is
no.
it gone for good if you abort it, or does it come back another round?
We
We
don't
don't know.
I don't know.
So this is what I'm saying.
But
you can't legislate
body
this shit because we don't
itself-
have answers to a lot of this stuff that really fucking matters. Like, what the
Oh,
hell
yeah.
are we? What's human consciousness?
Well, that's a
we
whole
can't-
nother. That's a whole
It's
nother.
at the
thing.
core of all
Everybody
this.
says, shut the fuck up. Let's get off this topic.
Get off the topic.
Dad's drunk.
It's not a G.
So I'm fucking her, right?
It's not a G pan. The fuck? does
He
mean?
corrected it. He said
Oh.
it's a no-win topic.
That's
Yeah,
true.
That's what he said.
Well, of
and it
course
is
it's
true.
not. But
It's-
that doesn't mean we can't talk about it.
It shouldn't mean that we can't talk about it, but some people can't handle it, and that's
Okay.
okay. I understand that. It is very sensitive.
But there's a lot that goes into it.
There's a
The
lot.
government should not be controlling
That's my overwhelming.
it. It should
theme
be
is that
going down to the states.
no matter what you feel
And
like,
I'm just
it's
extremely
crazy.
disappointed in my
Yeah.
state.
So what other stupid
stuff have we done?
laws did we do?
Well, we did pass. I think we passed in.
Was marriage between a man and a woman still?
No, that's still good. That's still fine. What was the other one? It was the. And I knew I was
I
gonna.
almost spit my water out.
I can't. I don't know what was it. 140.
Oh,
140.
there is
I know.
140 and 139 that were the.
The big ones.
Like 24.
Did 140 pass?
No,
I-
I don't think it did.
What is it?
I don't
Hold
think
on.
it did.
Requires open primaries. Yes, it's still at a no. I mean, we're only 39% voted or whatever.
Oh, they were going to
So
open the
Prop
primaries to everybody.
140 requires open primaries. So essentially, they can pick whomever they want to go into the primaries,
Right.
and we don't get to vote on it.
Yeah.
That's why we were like, yeah, no.
Bunch of horseback.
The one that I think it was 313. I need to find where's my picture of my list? I sent it to somebody
I will show
please.
you my list.
because I was like, I did all the research. You can
Things
just
on
read
it.
it. One, this is my see my sticker of my stuff, my yes and my no's.
It's sideways.
So
Requires life sentences for sex trafficking.
We fucking passed that. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
You get a life
whoa,
sentence
whoa,
if you're a sex trafficker.
Whoa.
Done.
What is a sex trafficker?
Somebody who traffics sex.
The fuck does that mean?
Jack, you're in trouble.
What does it mean?
A door-to-door dildo salesman.
I've been, dude, what I've
done.
been wondering for a long time, and I know this is probably
Like,
another-
how do you
another,
define
another
that?
subject that nobody wants to talk about because we don't have any answers and it's sensitive. All this human trafficking that's going on, I have never, ever even tried to fucking order someone to fuck, like, or child or otherwise. So where are all these fucking people going and who's banging them? Like, there's all
Can I-
these thousands of people in
Arizona
sex
Mills.
trafficking.
Have you been to Arizona Mills?
Not looking for pussy.
You can-
No.
No, go and watch. So there's actual adults who walk with the kids and they'll pass them off to people. It's absolutely terrifying.
Are you sure these aren't just parents giving up their weekend?
No, it's shady.
Have you ever watched the movie
Go
The Sound of
watch.
Silence?
No.
Or The Sound of Freedom? What's
Sound
The
of Freedom.
No, I've
Sorry.
not seen Sound of
It's
Freedom.
three-
I'm aware it exists.
It's
I'm
486.
still absolutely
486 is the one.
the stuff
Did
over in
486
the stuff
pass?
over in Europe and the amount of those girls that get taken to other countries and stuff. But I'm like,
486.
even when the Super Bowl was here, nobody offered me. Hey kid,
Are you just sad
Wanna
because
fuck?
nobody offered you?
I'm a little disappointed that nobody even asked me. Like, you want to fuck a 13-year-old? I'm like, didn't know it was an option. There's just things I
No,
didn't know.
but thanks.
I mean, it's wild to me because it's not something I would think to seek out. How do you start that? You can't look in the yellow pages, right? Like, how do you even find somebody?
do you
Really,
even get
really,
there?
it's a money thing, and it's to feed the sickness of the people who actually.
Of Epstein's Island.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. That's a
And-
great way of putting
And
it.
again,
But it's a money thing.
I guess I realize I'm
Hold on.
out of that, not in that echelon of wealth where
You're
it
not
becomes
there, I'm sorry,
an
Jack.
option. But it's so wild to me to think that is there another internet? Is there some other network that you get your card to? Like, hey, you're in a baby rapers club now. Congratulations, you can
job.
fuck kids. I don't understand where that comes from or how they even get into it. It's so
So
wild. to me.
133.
Yeah,
Because everybody said it picks up really huge, like when
No.
there's big sporting events, when the Super Bowl comes here, then you get all these prostitutions coming in, and it's like, what in the
Oh,
shit?
where'd it go?
It's
I
just
think that's different though. That's
I
probably
don't know.
different than
I don't
sex
know,
trafficking.
but so
Yeah.
That's
they
kind of
don't
question.
stay local.
Yeah.
but there's a thing. What is trafficking? Are you a pimp or are you kidnapping
you're
children?
kidnapping. Yeah, that's
You're
exactly what you're doing.
kidnapping
You're
children.
kidnapping children.
So
you're
is that what the
selling
bill
them.
covers?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
So you can
kidnapping
still prostitute
children,
girls.
taking them,
As long as they're
prostituting
I think you're
them,
safe for
yes.
prostitution.
I can
Jack.
still be a pimp.
I think.
Okay.
You
I'm
can
just
be a
checking.
pimp. You can be a pimp
Hey.
as long as it is not underage.
Okay, cool.
You're good.
All right.
Anything underage is considered sex
We're talking
trafficking.
about liberty here.
This is the one thing I was super bummed about, and this is again personal decision. So 311 creates a death benefit for first responders that the state is supposed to pay. And it voted yes, it was 311. I don't think that the state should have to pay for you making a choice to do your job. You died, yes, that sucks, but don't you have life insurance and all that other stuff through your company that's going to pay you? Why does the state have to pay you?
I don't think I understand what's going on.
So a cop gets shot.
It happens.
The
Yeah.
state has to now pay that family money
Like as a disability
he died.
pension,
because you were a first responder and you died.
one-time pay.
Hold on. The ballot measure would create a $20 fee on criminal convictions to provide a benefit of $250,000
Oh, slush fund.
to the
To the-
spouse or children of first responders who are killed in the line of duty.
Slush fund.
You think that that $20 fee on criminal convictions is going to cover every single cop and first responder that gets killed? Nope, that's going to come out of our taxes.
Yeah, it's just whatever.
250,000
But, you know-
is nothing.
And
fuck cares?
in defense of that, I mean, they are protecting us.
They are,
Yeah.
but
You
you
know,
chose
so-
this life,
Yeah, because a lot of people won't because it is a
and
risk.
that's fine.
You
But
know,
that's why you
so-
have life insurance and everything else that you sign up
Or who-
for.
And
Well,
is
sometimes they
it
have a
the
harder time getting
states-
right,
life
because
insurance
because of
that.
their because of their
Yeah.
career.
I can tell you
of
quite
course.
honestly that doesn't bother me in the
That bothers
slightest.
me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I'm good with it.
I
Bothers
voted
me.
yes on everything but 140 and 139.
If I get a ticket, I'll have to pay the. Oh shit! I gotta. Pay
You
the
voted
ticket.
yes for 311 too, I think.
Forgot I gotta pay that ticket.
I'm pretty sure you voted.
311.
Fuck.
My picture 311 says no.
Waka waka waka.
I'm okay with it.
I'm not.
That's
okay.
311.
That's the one we just talked about.
Oh, good. That's not the band. They're not coming back, are they?
No.
Amber, fuck you.
312 was for property laws. 313 was for the sex trafficking. 314 allows police to arrest immigrants who enter the U.S. illegally.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Did that
And we
pass?
voted yes on
Hmm.
this. 63%.
It allows them to arrest.
Immigrants who
Yeah,
entered the U.S. illegally in Arizona.
See, if they reworded that, they
So
wouldn't even have to
we-
have done anything because if illegals are crossed over, then they're illegal.
Yep. But in
Some people
But
can't
we
put that
call it-
together.
yeah,
But you
if call them
know-
an immigrant and then say if they
Yeah.
pass over illegally,
Right.
Well, what's stupid
Exactly.
about what's silly about that, or what I already see being a fucking problem, is what's the case law to support? What do you have to actually witness to know that that person was an illegal person?
because you're probably doing something wrong and we found out that you're illegal anyways, so you probably get both anyways.
So that's different than like if you witness him crossing the border, or jumping over the wall, or being catapulted over the wall. Then as a
Being
cop, you'd be allowed.
catapulted?
Well, they do that.
Oh, I
But,
know.
but as a cop, then you'd be allowed to arrest them because you
Yes.
witnessed them doing it. If you just see them out in public and you go,
No.
that guy's
No, no,
illegal.
no,
No,
No, it's nothing like that. But if you get arrested for stealing a car and you're illegal, we
Right.
can now take you back. As before, per our federal laws, we could not.
So Jack, just so you
We
know,
would let you go.
forcing anyone into performing sex unwillingly by kidnapping them is considered sex trafficking, no
There you
matter
go.
what their age.
So as long
So
as
you can't kidnap people.
So just don't,
They have to
make
give
sure
you
they go
permission.
willingly.
well, it's willingly enough. They're not trying to leave. You ain't got
That's
nowhere to
not
go.
the same, Jack.
Nobody
it's
loves
not
you,
the
bitch.
same.
Get back in there.
It's not the same.
Beat that bitch with a coat hanger.
Oh,
You ever
did I
read that?
vote?
You know,
38. Is that the one I wanted?
it makes me laugh to watch people around the country talk about immigration, though.
I'm sad
because-
about that one too.
I always tell people, unless you live here, Arizona, Texas,
You
I
don't
don't
see
care
it.
about California. They're so
they don't-
fucking
they don't see
blind,
it
they don't care
anyways.
anyway. But unless you live in these states, you'll never realize the depth of really
No.
what
Mhm.
immigration
They're
is.
starting to other places because most of them aren't
They're
staying here
shipping 'em to
anymore.
Well, because
Yeah.
they're shipping them to them. Right.
well, they
I
were,
get that.
yeah, they
I-
were flying them from other countries into the middle of the
Yeah.
country, so they
Wow.
never crossed through.
But I still heard
So-
people up to election day saying,
We've never.
"Oh, the immigration problem's not really that bad."
No. I was on the phone today with one of our guys in Georgia, in Atlanta, and he asked me, he was like, Funnily, he was like, so you guys ever going to get your ballots in? And I was like, well, we got like 5 more days, so it's fine. Don't push us. We're counting. But then he asked about the immigration stuff. He said, is that real? He was like, I don't see it because I'm in Atlanta. Like I'm in the city. I don't notice it because nobody's coming across here. We're up against the ocean. Like nobody's coming in for us. And I said, no, it's a real thing.
Oh, there's people coming in there. They're just not.
But
from
he
Mexico.
doesn't see it though. Like it's not a thing for him. So he's
they
like,
were flying them into red cities,
Yes,
exactly.
yeah,
So
not
they're not
blue cities.
exactly.
Yeah.
So they're just kind
So
of
the Blues think, well, it's not that big.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
that bad.
Yeah.
So, and he was like, it's a real thing. And I was like, oh no, it's a real thing. Like it's for real.
He's drinking Pepsi,
Pepsi, actually, Dad, your Pepsi's.
Regular Pepsi.
regular Pepsi.
They're going to be
And
out next
Skittles.
It
week.
says full sugar on it. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
It is. It's the real sugar. It's Dad's Pepsi.
Real sugar.
Yeah, because that's all Jack needs.
I
is
mean,
real
are we
sugar.
talking European real sugar or
No,
American
So-
standards real
standard
sugar?
sugars.
So, how do you feel about the tips? Did you know which proposition that was for?
I don't know the number.
Just the tips.
138. But do you know, how do you feel about it? Yes, that they should
I
be
voted yes.
that they should be paid less,
What?
or no, that they should be paid less.
What?
So the salary offset by
So
just
it
Stuff.
allows
Kind of
tipped
thing,
workers
or
to be
their
paid
hourly or whatever.
25% below minimum wage.
That's the way it currently is.
No,
They're allowed to be paid
Uh,
dick.
they get paid less than that.
Yeah, they get paid
now.
shit. So
maybe
what
I should have voted no on. I don't know.
I voted yes. They
I
need to be
voted
paid
yes.
25% below minimum wage.
Okay, then I went with you. on
Why?
Okay. Why?
Why?
Because you work for your tips.
No shit.
So if you're a dick, why am I getting you paid $20 an hour when I'm getting paid $20 an hour when you're still being a dick and I'm still tipping you?
Because I get a wage. A tip is a gratuity above and beyond my fucking pay.
So you got to deserve that.
Yeah.
So
if
your job, the
but you're
job that
dicking me
you
out of
chose,
25%. Regardless of whether you tip me or not, I get taxed on 25%.
but this is the thing. So getting taxed on your tips is a Kamala Democrat thing.
No.
That's federally. That's not a state thing.
Yeah.
She federally said that we have to get taxed on our tips.
That's
Right.
what Trump's trying to do.
That's
away
what
with.
Trump is trying to take away.
Gotcha.
So no, you should not be making $20 an hour plus getting all your tips. Absolutely fucking not.
And no, you shouldn't. You should not be taxed on your tips.
You shouldn't be taxed
Right.
on
You
your
especially
tips.
shouldn't
But
be
that
taxed on
is
tips
not
you're
a
not getting.
state issue. That is a federal issue.
Cool. See if
So
if I get hired at
state-wise,
$15 an hour because they're assuming that I'm getting 25% on all my shit.
then you better be better at your job.
The job pays.
If your job pays, so no, I bartended all through school.
Right. And the assumption
made-
is you're going to get tips.
I made $4.50 an hour.
Right.
Back in the day when only $8 was minimum wage.
Right. But if you
Not
got
that we're
paid,
that old. It's
But
fine.
then what were your tips? So
My tips, I could bring home easily $2,000 a day
yeah. And
because I did not suck at my job.
that's totally awesome.
You suck at your job, you don't get your tips.
But do you get paid
$2.50, $4 and something an hour,
whatever the wage would be?
Right.
whatever my wage
Right.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily
should I
think
have
they should
gotten-
arbitrarily be docked a percentage of their wage. If it's a minimum wage, they're not getting minimum wage.
No, I never got minimum wage. I got less than
And
minimum
that's what I'm
wage.
saying. I don't think that if we're going to have a minimum wage, I'm not a fan of minimum wage. I don't think there should be one.
No,
But
you
if we're
should earn
gonna
what
have a
you
fucking
should
minimum
get what you
wage,
have.
They should
You-
get minimum wage.
Do they pay tax on their salary?
that
Of
they
course, you pay
should,
tax
yeah.
on your salary
Yeah. But
So then
they're not
you
even
always-
making. They're not
you
even
always
making
get
minimum
taxed
wage though.
hourly.
Right.
Right.
But
But
they're
if you're
being
getting
paid
if
as
you're
though they
getting
are.
no,
Here's the
if
problem.
you're getting
though.
paid below minimum wage, you don't get taxed because
Yes.
I never
Oh,
got
bullshit.
taxed.
Here's the problem
I never
with
got
that
taxed
though.
when I was making $4 an hour. I never did.
So, I mean, say tax on tips goes away
Right.
Mhm.
by lowering
crossed.
their salary.
Hourly.
Then we're getting screwed on their taxes. You know, I mean, the
If it
state's
drops them into
getting
lower
What?
screwed
bracket.
because they could have taxed them on more.
They could have.
Since
but
they're not getting it on the tips, they should
They
have just
shouldn't
kept
be.
it the same.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
They shouldn't be touching their tips.
so now they're
their
getting
tips is not a boss paying them. That's
Well,
me saying,
we
Joey.
shouldn't be taxed on our
Joey-
income anyway.
Great point, Joey.
We're not even gonna again federal government overreaching, but
Yeah.
how you treat your customer and how you get paid from them. That's me saying, hey Joey, thanks for coming over and bringing the speakers. Here's $40. The government doesn't need to know about that. You shouldn't even have
Oh,
your
now
tips.
great. You just told them.
You should. I know.
They're watching.
You shouldn't even
Give
have
them the money
your.
back.
Damn it! You shouldn't even have your tips recorded.
I think Lindsay's point of the whole thing is that if
my
we
tips were
start
recorded.
paying them more money, the whole idea of the service industry is you do a good job, you provide that good service, you get
Right.
tipped for it, right?
100%.
I think the idea is, especially with today's generation, is that if you,
You don't
pay
suck,
them
you
more,
get paid.
they don't give a shit. They
That's
can just
true.
they could
But
treat you
You're
like
gonna
no
treat me like
incentive
shit.
there.
there's
You're
no
gonna spit in my
incentive
stuff.
to provide customer service.
Again,
right?
Yeah.
You know,
Minimum wage is bullshit. It just is. It's one of the stupidest things that we do. We do it every few years, arguing about raising minimum wage,
right?
and nobody goes, inflation went up. No fucking shit.
Get
So,
a better job.
Aside from that, aside from the idiocy involved in minimum wage, if we're going to have a minimum wage, then people shouldn't be being paid less than the minimum wage.
No.
Even if they're in an industry that might allow them tips, because tips are not
Then you
guaranteed.
lower that minimum wage.
And if you're not going to tax them on tips, great. Then they're really tips, like they should be.
Yeah,
Right.
they shouldn't even be recorded. That's why I
It
really
has
don't
nothing to do
like.
with it, and it shouldn't
tipping-
factor into what you get paid for your
No,
job.
I
if
really-
we have a minimum wage. If we don't have a
Yeah,
minimum
but
wage, then fuck you. Do
So
whatever you want.
do you think so they raise minimum wage to $17 an hour, right? Let's say whatever
Way
the
more
minimum
than
wage
that
is,
now.
or $20 an hour. Do you think a guy flipping fries at McDonald's should make $20 an hour?
No,
No.
No, that's why I'm not a fan of
Not at
minimum
all.
wage.
Right.
not at all.
I think the market should decide that and say, if I want to pay $20 for a fucking thing of fries, then sure, pay him $40 an hour.
And you
Right.
wonder
Or
why
if I still
inflation
wanna
went
have a
up.
99
You wonder
cent
why I'm
menu.
paying $10 for a fucking thing of fries.
I understand that mechanism. It's such a basic thing that dumbass like me gets it, and then we still have people arguing for the minimum wage thing.
Right.
And it's like it's a continual cycle. Do prices ever go down? No.
No.
Why? Because nobody will lower them.
Yeah, I-
Because why not? Somebody else paid them already. Why would I lower
And the
them?
mentality is, well, everybody else is doing it too. Like, in my personal business, I go out of my way to charge as little as
I'm always a
possible.
good tipper unless you suck. Then you usually get a note.
Most people
too.
who are good tippers are good tippers regardless of whether that they suck.
Mhm.
That's true.
Nah,
That's true.
It's very
No,
true.
that's That
It's
is
very true.
It's true.
I'm usually a great tipper. You only get a good tipper when I.
I mean, minimum
when you
wage.
suck.
I don't know what the original thought process behind minimum wage was, but for me, it's to give people a chance to get into the workforce.
Entry
Yeah, it's an
level.
entry level.
And
Entry
start making
level.
money.
That's what that is for.
It's not,
It's
hey,
not
this is my goal to be the
livable-
fry
Right.
flipper at
Yes.
McDonald's till I'm 50. You
And
know,
that was the thing.
That's
like,
the thing, though. But
the fry flippers, the burger guys, the grocery baggers. That is what you do while you're in school. That is what you do while you're learning your skill. That is what you do your in between job where you're learning to have a job. That's what those 16, 17, 20-year-old jobs are for. Hey, let me learn how to communicate with
Mhm.
others.
They're
Not
also
be a
for
dick.
handicapped people.
Get
Yeah.
up and show up at somewhere every day. Like, this is what those jobs are made for. You're not made to be able to have an iPhone. What the fuck number are they on? 25. You're not supposed to be able to pay for your
it's a camera shot.
camera shaking. Dog earthquake. Sorry.
Dog.
Dog earthquake.
The idea that you should
You're
be
not
able
supposed to be
raise
able
and
to
support a
live
family.
on
Right, yeah.
this.
Right.
That's not what it's meant for.
It wasn't what it's meant for, but the minimum
Period.
wage thing puts us in that realm of where, like, oh, if we decide that there's a minimum wage, then we decide that that must be a living wage. And even worse, we have people that need to have those sort of flexibility and shit jobs because they're just either not capable or smart enough, or
And that's
whatever the case
fine.
may be,
And
or
then
they
they
started
get to-
crapping out kids when they were
Then they
14
get
years
to
old,
live. I
and they're
hate to
trying to
say
keep
it.
them all.
You
they
made
can't
that
afford it.
choice and you get to live in that poverty. You
That's-
don't get to enjoy it. I'm sorry.
I know.
You want to do that? That sucks for you. That's a choice you made. Or you
100%.
suck it up, Buttercup, and you go to school and you figure it out and you put those kids in daycare and then you become a real adult
Yep.
and you get to do stuff and enjoy things.
Your
But until
privilege
then,
is showing.
you suck and suck.
No, I don't disagree with you. I 100% agree with you.
You shouldn't be able to have the same lovely things that I get to have when I busted my ass the
No,
last 20 years.
no
I'm
shit.
sorry, it's not the same.
It is not the same, but that
But it
doesn't-
is.
but it doesn't change the fact that people in general think they're entitled to some level of decency in
There's
their
no
lives.
entitlement.
Oh, I
I'm
know.
sorry.
I agree with you. The reality is, if you are shit and you produce shit, you're gonna have a shit life. I understand that. Elon Musk is him because of he happens to be who he is.
Yep.
And
And he
he's an
decided to
ex-
get shit done.
Well, he's an exceptional human being, and there for that level to exist, there's this yin and yang balance to the universe that there are fucking morons or people that are just on the other side equally worthless to his
not
production value.
worthless. Yeah.
So what do you do about the folks like that? And at what point do we cut them off and say, hey, you're just dumb enough that we think we should go ahead and take care of you? There is a portion of society that can't take care of themselves.
And that's fine.
That is true.
So in that realm, we have to be willing to understand that there has to be some of that.
There
And
is.
then we have to make
And
decisions on it.
And I'm not against, because we've had these conversations, and this is where I consider myself like the old school Democrat, because I do think that there are those people that aren't ever going to be able to truly function as an adult. They're never truly going to be able to do things, and that's great. Then that's what those Goodwill jobs are for, where you stock in the back, or Walmart part-time where you're with somebody, but you don't make a full amount of money. You can only do a couple hours a day or something like that. But if I'm going to take care of you, guess what? The state's going to pay for you. You have to volunteer. You have to do something. You don't get to sit at home on your PS4 with your fucking iPhone with internet and Wi-Fi in your apartment paid for you all by the fucking state
We're thinking of different
and
people.
think that life's going to be great.
We're thinking of different people.
Okay.
But that's okay. It's okay. I get where you're coming from. But again,
What
I'm
people are
not
you
a
thinking of? Those are the people I know.
Well, it's a generational thing with
there are
people
some,
that you're talking about.
well, there's generational people. There are people
Yeah.
who just aren't capable.
How so? In what aspects? Like
They're
you
handicapped.
physically have no legs, you physically
They
you're
physically have diseases or
Okay,
issues that
no,
they
and
can't
that's
do
fine.
things.
The state can help take
So that's
care
what
of
I'm
you.
saying.
There
So
are
there's a lane for that.
yes,
There's a lane for that.
yes.
So we do need
you're
funding, taxes, that kind
you're
of stuff.
medically
Yeah.
whatever you
So,
are. Okay.
But I also think that this doesn't always necessarily have to be government. So government lays off the tax bullshit. I think that there are charities and all
Absolutely.
those things that can help take care of not only those people, but also the losers who can't handle shit. who can't
No,
deal
if you're a
with
loser
their
and you
life.
can't handle shit, you got to suck it up, buttercup.
That's fine. You can feel that way. I don't think we necessarily need to let everybody die who doesn't have
No.
the will to live. On the other hand, maybe we should.
That's a choice they made. I don't know.
The choice they made, and we as a society get to decide: does human life have value,
There you go.
and do we have to protect it at all costs? Meaning, if he wants to die, do we let him? I don't know.
The problem, and I agree
You
with you.
cannot legislate morality. That's what I'm
Nope,
getting around to.
you
That's all I'm
can't.
coming at.
I agree with you, Jack. But the problem is when you create that lane, okay, for those types of people,
Yeah.
what's stopping general
Everybody
society
else.
from driving into that lane?
Mhm.
Because hey,
Taking
I got an
advantage of
easy
it.
way out. I can
Yeah.
sit home and play fucking PS4 all day
Yeah.
and not do a
Absolutely.
damn thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's,
That's
COVID was
what's-
big for that. It happened.
yeah,
right?
there's no incentive built into the
Nope.
welfare program
Right.
to
Nope.
get you out of it.
No. Once
Yeah.
you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
And that's the
And
hard
that's where
thing.
it becomes, generational.
Yep.
Right.
You just
I lived off of it. My parents lived
Yeah.
off of it. Why not? And I've watched it in my personal life. I've watched it with people, and it's hard to get out of that when the state's giving you everything and they've given you food stamps and they paid for your house and they've done whatever.
just like your
Why-
parents and grandparents
would-
before.
why
Right,
would
exactly,
why would I go
exactly.
back to work? Why?
and so-
if everything's going to be taken care of for
But
me,
But I agree with Jack. There is a need for it.
There
There's
is,
100% a need for it.
absolutely.
Well, and
You know?
we're sort
where
of
is
in a
that line
Mike
that
is-
you draw?
Super Horror made a point in there that I think is very valid and kind of goes into this
Where's
because
Lucy?
we
Mhm.
are in the reality that we're in, and
Yep.
those things already exist where we're at. Dialing them
Yep.
back or pulling them away
How do
creates
we-
a whole nother fucking
Mhm.
thing of troubles because you just say you don't get a check anymore. What?
And what are you
Bullshit.
going to do? And what are you going to
You
do
know?
with this? What are you going to do with this kid that's 20 years old
Well,
that's never
the
had
one-
a job because he's been playing PS4 this whole time?
One of the things
What
that
do you
we're
think
talking
he's
about
gonna
going to be happening that I'm interested to see how it works out is a lot of social welfare programs.
Mhm.
So like food stamps, for
Yep.
instance, are huge.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people don't use them. A lot of people do.
Yes.
It's an enormous program.
Yep.
And the idea that it's going to just fucking go away and there's not going to be a problem,
Food stamps aren't going away.
maybe not. Maybe
I
may
haven't
not.
heard that.
That's okay.
Well,
Okay.
They need to create some kind of intersection in that
Right.
lane,
There needs
where
to
you get to a certain point. It's
Well-
like, okay, we can help you find a job. We can help you. And, that's where you send them into,
They do all that already, though.
they don't make them.
No, they don't make them
I mean, but there's got to be like,
suggest it.
we're gonna help you out for
until
this long,
this.
get you on
Check
your
it, check
feet.
it, check it, check.
there's
Yeah.
really big
like
there's
these
really
are your
big
step
things
downs.
involved here and we're talking about first off, do people matter?
Yeah.
So as a society we have to decide if people matter and how much we're willing to invest in those people.
Well,
You know,
again,
There's a lot of nuance in it, but it's not a really it's not really nuanced.
people
suppose-
do matter, but at what point is it other people's sacrifice to take care of the people that aren't doing anything?
Supposed to ask Joey about what'd you say to a babysitter?
So yeah, this when
Uh-oh.
the kids were pretty little, and we got this.
Did you make the little
well,
girl
we-
cry?
No,
Okay,
no,
good.
she made me cry.
Oh,
No, so it was the first time we had this babysitter come over, and she was recommended by somebody, and I don't remember.
Yeah.
But so we get home from our thing. Kids are great and all that, and she seemed like really
Yeah.
sweet, and she was really great with
all
the
kids are
and
alive.
stuff.
House is clean, not burned down.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Right, yeah, it's
When you
good.
come back from
But,
the babysitter.
but I had to take her home.
Oh,
you
okay.
know,
That's fine.
So we're driving home, taking her to her place, and so I said, "So what plans do you have?"
Because she's probably 17, 18.
She was probably like 14, 15
Oh, okay.
at the time. And she goes, "Oh," says, "Yeah, I plan on getting pregnant when I turn 16, and go on state welfare, and I mean, she had it all planned out. That was her life was geared right to that because it was available.
Wow. That's interesting.
That was her
So-
aspiration for life, man.
So I have a friend.
And it was like, she's not babysitting.
Yeah,
That's it. You're
we're
done.
good, thanks.
You're fired.
So I had a friend. I was 21, 22 was when I was still bartending before I got into the hospital full time. And she happened to get knocked up by her boyfriend. Totally great. She took care of the baby. He'd come over every once in a while. But she tells me, she says, I can't get, and she had a decent job. She was like an assistant for somebody, like she was making good money. She had her own apartment on her own. And back then, like that was a big thing. And she tells me, oh, well, if I get knocked up again and have another kid, they'll pay for the daycare. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, if like they don't cover anything now, I have to pay for it on my own. But she's still paying her bills. She's still making it.
Mhm.
Like she's not suffering at all. But if I have another kid, they'll take care of everything. And they'll give me food stamps and they'll help me pay for my apartment. Cool. So you're going to get knocked up, have a kid, put them into poverty so that you can have that taken care of. And she just looked at me. We were no longer friends after that.
Yeah. No, Lisa chimed in and said, yes, she did say it was like her mom. So
Mhm.
it was a generational thing. That's what she
That's
learned.
what
And that's
They've
what,
been taught.
And see, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, if that's the case, then you're gonna have a kid in poverty and stuff, and it
You
wouldn't be
have
the
to
case if you
unlearn
just
it.
let me
It's
kill
so
my fucking
hard.
baby.
What?
I mean, babysitting money's to buy cigarettes and beer.
Right?
you know,
Yeah,
so you
Absolutely.
can't buy that
At,
with food
at
stamps.
14.
No, what's crazy, what's really crazy about all these ridiculous ass things is they're huge things, and I'm excited to see how they navigate this because RFK pushed for the healthier people and all that stuff because that plays in with the food stamps, and someone made a
Mhm.
comment there about food stamps and the shit food you
Mhm.
can buy with it and all that
Right.
stuff. There's so many really big things to help society as a whole
Mhm.
that not everybody understands how big they are, how much it matters.
Yeah.
What I think is beyond denial is the billions and billions of dollars that we piss off to other places and this, that, and we
Yes.
supposedly don't have money for these things.
Right.
And when you hear the amount of money that gets put into some of these social programs,
Ridiculous.
how tiny it is compared to what we're sending for fucking
Mhm.
bombs in other places.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Military industrial complex clearly is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see it where people just have some understanding. I'm not a bleeding heart, but I also at the same time I recognize that I make choices that affect my life directly.
Mhm.
And sometimes I make choices that affect other people's life directly. In that intersection, we have to figure out how do we get along with each other.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's okay to kill people arbitrarily or really at all. I think it's wildly overly accepted the amount of death that we deal with. I don't think there's ever reason to have to kill anybody. But because we have different belief systems and all this stuff globally, we have to protect ourselves from people who think that we shouldn't exist because of how we believe.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy. It's just so crazy to me. So I'm excited to see what's going to go on with the administration, the new administration, to see if they can actually enact some of this stuff because it is really big change shit. Like,
Mhm.
hey, how about just have fucking wall? It won't work. Cool. Then shut the fuck up. Let them put it up.
And
And
see what
we'll see.
happens.
See what happens.
Are we any worse for the wear if you put it up? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And you guys were right. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
But it isn't anything. We just said $65 billion somewhere else.
Yeah.
This is a few
Well,
hundred million.
And
Right.
this
Fuck
is
off.
this is the other big thing is, and it can be fucked up as much as it sounds. That's great. We should not, as the US, be sending any money outside of our borders. Period. I don't care. Let them burn. That's a you problem. You should get your shit figured out. But we have our own people to take care of. We have our own homeless. We have our own veterans. We have our own people that need help. Why are we worrying about you? You're not coming after us. You have no concern with us. Y'all are killing each other. That's great. Figure it out. It's terrible. But why are we spending our money on you? We have our own problems.
Yes, we do.
Because
Should
we
not-
have people in our government that make big bucks.
Off the other people. Exactly.
Well, we have
We
people
should
in the
worry about
government in
ourselves.
cahoots with other countries
Yeah.
too. So
When it boils down to,
Cahoots.
there's,
Ooh, I like
there's
that
a lot
word.
of there's a lot of corruption. And
There's cahooting.
yeah, there is.
There is interest in other places in the world, and not necessarily the people of the United States who give a shit.
No.
But people in positions of power and all that kind of stuff, and they care on a different level because it's their
They care because it's their pocket.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what it
their
comes down
livelihood.
to.
Right.
I care because this is our America and these are our humans and we need to take care of them.
We need to take care of
Period.
ourselves first. 100%.
We need to take care of
Yep.
us.
Yeah, I think most of us are on that page of like,
Mhm.
hey, we can back off from that stuff, but at the same time, we can also recognize that there's awful things going on in the rest of the world.
There is
So how
I would like
engaged
to
do we
keep
need to
it-
be in them?
from us.
I don't think we necessarily need to be involved in them at all.
Nope. We need to keep our own.
I think we need to be involved from the perspective to keep us safe.
We should be aware,
Yes, aware of things.
but I'm not really interested
none
in
of these
funding or
people,
supplying anybody with bombs or,
No.
or weapons
No.
or money.
you're not concerned with us, leave us alone.
Unless it directly affects us.
Mhm.
Have fun
But-
killing each other, but stay away from our yard.
Yeah.
We're good.
100%.
You want to come over here? Then I got a problem with it.
Well, good talk. Good way to wrap it up, Jack. I like that.
Woo-woo!
You kind of brought us back full
Woo-woo!
circle.
He
That was
brought
good.
the peace.
Don't
man.
worry
That's
about
the simple
yourself.
perspective. These are tough conversations, guys.
What
I
are
mean,
the
they really
what's
are. I
what's
mean,
the
it's
girl
not-
with the video
I want to see my
where she's
pecker.
like buckling herself at what? What did you just say?
Derailed. Nothing.
Oh, that's great. What were you saying?
It was a cute little video of the girl where she's like buckling herself in, and mom's like, "Do you want me to help you?" And she's like,
Oh,
"No,
yeah.
thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
Worry about yourself."
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah,
like,
that's
"Worry
what she
about
wanted.
yourself." And I always think about that. Worry about
That's
yourself.
a
Worry
cute
about
one.
yourself. I like that.
Worry
Want
about
to see my
yourself.
pecker?
We're trying to worry about ourselves. We're not doing a great job. Jack is just, I don't know what Jack's doing.
Good conversation. I like it.
Now you're
It
talking.
was good. I think everybody, at least on this show, is happy with the results, and we're excited to see what
We
happens.
are
with the future.
hoping that the world
And
gets
I
better.
am very curious. I am always fascinated by people who don't agree.
Well, and I look at it this way: to the left. Okay. Yeah, you can be upset. You can be mad at us, whatever you want. We gave it 4 years for your guy. Let's give it 4 years and see what happens.
Yeah.
But
See where
this-
we are at the end.
We're
of these
not
4
going to
years.
get 4 years. We're
All
going to
right,
get 4
stop,
years.
Stop. Don't even get into that.
Don't do
That's-
it.
You're
Don't
going to
do
derail
it.
us into a further conversation.
It's a trap.
It's
We're
a
done.
trap.
It's a
Don't do it.
trap.
It's fucking over.
Don't do
It's
it.
a trap. Don't do it.
It's over. Let it go.
I know we had
Oh,
some
but I
new.
really want to say it.
We had some new people
We have a
on
lot of new
tonight.
people on.
Appreciate you guys coming on. Please go like, share, and subscribe. I can't even talk right now.
Yes.
But good conversation. Appreciate you guys jumping
Yep.
on.
No.
Oh, what's Dad drinking?
I know.
Drinking the Kool-Aid. No.
Clean your room.
Clean your room.
Is my room dirty?
Yeah.
Jack, did you mess up my room?
That is, Christine's right. That whole conversation is a Rumble
That
exclusive.
should be,
So.
because you know we're probably getting picked on YouTube or
Rumble
something. I
exclusive,
said, Christine. you
All right,
know,
guys. Well, thanks so
usually-
much for joining us. That's going to do it for us tonight. Good conversation. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Take it easy.
What are we talking about next
Good
week?
night.
I have no idea. I should probably play the end
Collapse of
credits before I.
We don't know what's going to happen
Hit
next week.
end.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay, bye.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.